Hello, my name is Raphael and I will be presenting TELA for the World Justice Challenge 2021. So the context is a shrinking civic space as over the past few years we've seen activists and journalists in many countries around the world facing high levels of harassment, detention and even violence for the work they do. And that has been worsening over the past few years, but it's gotten even worse with COVID-19, as many governments have used the measures to contain the pandemic as a pretext to essentially crack down on civil society and repress any form of dissent and criticism. So the situation has become really difficult when it comes to documenting human rights violations, and it's become a really dangerous endeavor for people doing that. So we've created TELA in that context, and TELA is a mobile app with three objectives. The first one is to protect users who engage in documentation, so the people who are taking photos, videos, or who are collecting data on human rights violations, and we're trying to protect them from physical or digital repression. We want to protect the data they collect from being tampered with, from being intercepted, and from being destroyed in some cases. And finally, it's about empowering individuals and groups to produce high quality documentation that can be used in the media or for research, but also in court, whether that's international court or national courts. So that means creating evidence that is verifiable and that can be trusted when you bring it in front of a judge. So in practice, what that means is robust privacy and security features in the mobile app, including encryption. So all of the data that is collected is encrypted on the device, on the phone. Also, the ability to camouflage the app, so basically hiding it so that if someone takes the phone and starts looking through it, they won't be able to find anything. And also the ability to just quickly wipe everything in the app to, again, protect the user from repression. We're also working really hard on making the app as usable as possible and ensure that it is accessible to anyone, including people that are not very tech savvy, so that they can do that work even if they don't have technical skills. And a key part is also making it easy to create verifiable evidence. So if you take a photo or a video using TELA, the app is automatically going to collect a whole bunch of metadata. So where you are and when you're doing it, what phone and the photo was taken on, and so on and so forth, so that when someone sees the piece of evidence, a journalist or a judge, they're able to actually trust the authenticity and the origin of the evidence. And finally, strong offline capabilities. As we know, a lot of governments are using internet shutdowns as a way to silence criticism and dissent, and a lot of places have unreliable or spotty internet connections, so it's really important to make everything available offline. So the impact, we know of a lot of activists that have been using TELA to keep themselves and the data safe, and people who had the device searched by repressive security forces, and fortunately they were not able to find anything. So that has been a very concrete consequence of using TELA. A lot of organizations have been able to collect data in very challenging environments. So for example, TELA was used to monitor elections in Belarus in August 2020, when there was very high levels of repression and disruptions to the internet as well. And a lot of groups have been able to expose abuse and human rights violations using TELA and using the evidence collected through TELA. And in terms of scaling, the next steps for us that we're hoping to do is actually create an iOS version. At the moment, the app is only on Android because that's the priority. A lot of places where TELA is used have 80–90% Android market share. So getting it on iOS so that journalists that are predominantly on iPhone can actually use it. Also making it more customizable. Every organization has different needs and threats, so making sure that they can customize the app to their own needs. And finally, making it self-hostable so that organizations can have the app and host the data on their own servers so that they can keep full control and ownership over the data, and they don't have to hand it over to someone else, and they can trust that nobody's messing with the data as well. So that's TELA in a nutshell. Feel free to contact us if you have questions or suggestions, and thank you for watching this.